Alright guys, so today we're learning how to use a prompt, alert and confirm function in JavaScript. So what we'll be doing is how to use this what we'll be doing is how to create this method so that we can click on something like this, as you can see, so that we can use it to send message to someone using JavaScript. So basically I have a folder called auto prompt. So inside this folder I have an index.html and main.js. We're not needing any CSS because they don't need to style anything. This is just pure JS. In this tutorial, let me enlarge this so I see what I have. I just have a simple boilerplate here with each one of this message. Then I have a button. Let me bring this down. I have a button called press me, and I have two input tags, one with an ID of my button and one with an ID of my last name. So basically these are what we need, and for the JS I have just an empty JS file. So I'm going to be starting from JS. So I'm going to resize this browser. Okay, but before then let me open this with a live server. So I'm using a plugin called live server which allow me to use auto reload. So I'm going to open this now. I open this is what I have. If I click on this button for now, you can see they're not doing anything because I've not added any JavaScript to it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how to use a prompt function. Let's talk about prompt first. Now prompts, on the other hand, prompt is actually a method in JavaScript that allows to display message to the user. So when we display message to the user, it also give us the option for the user to fill in a text. For example, if I say prompt, I can add the parentheses and ask anything. I can say how do you do. Okay, now if I save this, okay, you see this is going to ask me a message, how do you do. I can write anything. I can say fine. Okay, sorry, that's, I can just come here and just click and say fine. Alright, if I click OK, and then it's going to disappear. Now one thing you have to understand about prompt, now prompt has a syntax of message, and then here we have what is called a default, something like this. Prompt is something like this, prompt. Okay, and then here we have a message. Here we have a parameter of message. While here we have a default. Here we have a default. Now here is where we'll put the message. Okay, here where we'll put the message out that will display. Alright, while here is registered as default. Now I can put anything in this default, but the default is usually optional. Let me show you what I mean by the default. Now if I take this away, and I can just write something like, I can just put a comma here and put something like this. I can just say fine. Alright, if I save this, now you see that after opening this browser, I'm getting the text of fine here. Now this fine is read to as a default, while this fine is read to as a message. As you can see, the message is showing here, right here, not inside this place. Okay, it's asking me something. Okay, and why this is the default right here. So if I click OK, now it will disappear. So that's it for our prompt. Very simple. Very simple. Now I'm going to show you the other one that I'm going to talk about, which is called alert. So I'm going to take this away. I'm going to take this away for alerts, I will say. Okay, let me see. Alright, so the other one that we have again is alert function. You must have seen alert. So if I create this and say I, alright, and I close this. Now if I click this, what alert does is just that it does display message to the browser saying I. Now you're only giving just one option to just click OK. Now one of the features of alert, one of the problems of this function is that you're not permitted to do anything except you click on this OK function. So I'm just going to click on this OK. So that is how you can create an alert function. I'm going to delete this and put it inside here. Alright, so the third one that I'm going to talk about is this word. It is confirm function. Okay, now this confirm function allows you to to what, to display a message without user putting anything. So I can say confirm. All right, something like this. I would also say I would also say, are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? No, doctor. All right, now close this. If I save this, now it's going to ask me a question. Are you a doctor? Now if I click OK, this is going to return true. If I click cancel, it's going to return false. So let me click OK, for example. Now you see the thing does disappear. There is how the confirm function works. So let us make it a little bit interesting by adding some buttons to it. So now I'm going to come back to my HTML. Right, if I come out to my HTML, you see that I have a button, like I said before. So I'm going to grab this button and set it to this prompt function, because what I want is I want it to ask me a question, and then I provide an input when I click on this button. So to do that, I'm going to say so I'm going to create a variable first. I'm going to say let my what do we want to do, name. Okay, I'm going to say let button. So I'm going to grab the button equals to document dot query selector. I'm going to get button. All right, then I'm going to say button dot on click equals to, now this on click means that when I click on this button, I want this function to run. All right, I want this function to run. I'm going to call it message. I'm going to add parentheses. I'm going to do something like this. Now I'm going to say when I click on this button, okay, I want this function to run. I'm going to say let my name, let me call it my first name. Let's get the first name. Let my first name equals to prompt. Okay, I want to ask a question of what is your name. Okay, now if I save this, right, and when I click this, you see I'm going to get the prompt message that what is your name. So I can provide my name. I can say Alex. That's my first name. If I click OK, this is going to disappear. Alright, very simple. What is your name? So I can click here again. I'm going to say what is your name, and click Alex. Now another thing I can do is that I can add an alert function here and say alert. Right, I'll create a curly and I'll create a bracket and put a backtick. So I'm going to use a template letter here. I will say I'll put a dollar sign and I'll put something like this, and I'll put my first name. Okay, I'll say nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Now I'm going to save this. Okay, now if I click here, I'm going to put my name Alex, first name. If I click here, you're going to say Alex, nice to meet you. Now what is going on is that after this function runs, okay, I'm using this alert to grab the value that is now saved on this my first name, and then I display this text to it. That's basically what is happening. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this click me. So if I come here, you see that I have an input tag of an ID of last name. I'm going to say my input. I'm going to create a variable, because let my input equals to document dot, I'm going to use an ID this time. I'll get element by ID. What is it called? Let me check it again. My button. Yeah, my button. I'm going to say my button. Alright, so then I'll say my input equals to on click. All right, and I'll say, now after creating that on click, I will say no, I don't need this. I'll say function. Okay, I'll say my color. Okay, so inside my color, I'll create something like I'm going to create an alert. I'll say let color equals to prompt. No, equals to prompt. I'll say put a message. What's your favorite color? What is your favorite color? Okay, so then I'll display an alert when the text is filled. I'll say I'll put something like okay, just I'll put this color now. No, I need to use the back tick there. I'll use this and this. I'll say color is a nice choice. Okay, so I think that's basically it. Now if I click here, you see what's your favorite color, right? I can put something like blue. If I click here, you see blue is a nice choice. So that's why this thing is done. For this other one, that's why it's done. So let us see how we can do for this last one. Okay, this last one right here. This last one. Now we're going to make use of confirm to do this. So I'll say as you can see here, you have an input tag of what is it called, of last name. So I'll say let's input, let my input input 2 equals to document dot get element by ID. Okay, then I'm going to put last name, ID of last name. I think that's what I have there. Let me confirm that I don't have an error. Last name. I'm going to get element of my last name. Then I'm going to close this right here. Now I'm saying let my input equals to get element by last name. I put it here. Now if I get this thing, if I set this like this, the next I'm going to say my input 2 dot on click. All right, so I create a function of my name. Yeah, my name. Have I created my name before? Okay, so I'm going to do something like this. So now inside this function of my name, I'm going to create something of let me see if I've used my name before. Okay, no, I've not used my name. So I will say something like let my last name equals to confirm. All right, and I will say I want to display a message of are you a doctor? Let's ask that question. Not like this. Okay. Are you a doctor? I'm going to press comma like this. I'm going to cancel this. So if I save this, okay, and click this button, see, I'm going to get the question. Are you a doctor? Now, if I click OK, it's going to return true, meaning that I'm a doctor. If I click cancel, it's going to return false, meaning I'm not a doctor. I'm going to click this. Now, there's a way there's other thing we can do. We can also add an if statement to this. I can say if I'm going to click an if statement. If my last name is equals true, okay, if this statement becomes true, I want it to what? To display. I want to display an alert of we need your help. We need your help. Okay, and if it's false, okay, else. I'm gonna say else. Yes, else. I'm going to display an alert of how do we get the doctor? Please, how do we get a doctor? Now you can just save this. So if I save this, okay, and I click on this my last name, you see, are you a doctor? If I click OK, see, we need your help. Alright, if I click this again and say are you a doctor, if I click cancel, you say please, how do we get a doctor? So basically what is going on is that once this function runs, okay, once the function runs, and once I click on this button, this function automatically runs and asks a question of are you a doctor? Now if this is true, okay, if this question is true, okay, this is going to run. But if this question what appears not to be true, so this other one is going to run. Very simple project. So this is basically all I need to explain this tutorial. Like I said before, if you click here, okay, you can ask a question. We can also add a default text. Like here, let me say this one. I can just put a comma here and also add, like, let's say let me just put a default color of red. Okay, alright, red for example. And if I click on this one, okay, you see I have red. If I click OK, I'm going to say red is the nice color. Right, if I come here and click here again and I remove this color and I say black, let's say black now, and I click here, black is a nice color, you see. So that's basically how to use prompt, alert, and confirm in JavaScript. Hope you find this tutorial very easy. If you have any problem with this, let me know. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, also let me know. I'll see you in my next tutorial.